Hello, this is your weekly space news roundup for the 28th of February 2021, read by me, Philip Day of Giant-Leap.Space. In today's episode, the UK government has been very busy this week as the UK and Australian governments signed the long-awaited Space Bridge Agreement. They announce a package of space industry support measures, full article link in the comments, and the UK Space Agency teams up with the Scottish Space Leadership Council to drive a sustainability challenge. We also look at Airbus Defence and Space's work to make in-space manufacturing a reality, and we give you a sneak peek into our exclusive interview with the UK head of Rolls-Royce, Dave Gordon, on nuclear propulsion and more. The first real images arrive from the Perseverance landing, including an incredible panorama of the rim of the Jethro crater. And finally, we list our hashtag job of the week in this week's Space News Roundup with Giant-Leap.Space. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to ensure you're up to date on your UK-focused space news each Sunday at noon, or join us on Patreon for early access on Saturdays, among other awesome perks. The governments of the United Kingdom and Australia have signed the Space Bridge Agreement, which has been in the works for a number of months. The idea behind the agreement, officially called the UK-Australia Space Bridge Framework Agreement, is to provide quite significant opportunities for space companies in both countries. This agreement is a significant step and represents the closest bilateral agreement between two nations of civil space industry collaboration anywhere in the world. The Space Industry Association of Australia's CEO is James Brown, who commented, "Australia and the UK have deep shared histories and bright shared futures in space technology and services development. The Space Bridge thickens connections between both growing space markets and provides greater opportunity for UK companies to help build Australia's full-spectrum space industry and for Australian companies to bring their innovative solutions to the UK's well-developed space economy. We look forward to exploring deeper partnerships between Australian and UK space industries." Meanwhile, the UK Space Agency hasn't been slacking as they partner up with the Scottish Space Leadership Council to launch a sustainability challenge. In keeping with their Bring It to the People approach, the UK Space Agency is now seeking people from any industry facing sustainability challenges to come forward in order to pose them to the UK space industry for solutions. Similar challenges in the past have had an impressive response, with deployed solutions coming forward. Indeed, the Gravity Challenge 2, enabled by Deloitte and run across the UK and Australian space markets, concluded this month. It found solutions to problems posed by the UK Hydrographic Office, Sydney Water, the Marine Stewardship Council, and many others. The UK Space Agency and Scottish Space Leadership Council Challenge is described as a launchpad for net zero, and it will close in March 2021. The UK government wasn't finished there either. A comprehensive package of COVID support for the space industry was announced on Friday, focused on three areas: government coordination, export support, and investment promotion. The space sector COVID support plan's three interventions are to be delivered against 5 aims. Perhaps confusingly, there are also 8 deliverables, including one which highlights Space Park Leicester, a project that has been in the space news recently for the additional funding announced last year and the strong project progress that has been seen on site. Key among the remaining deliverables, though, is the announcement of the new Space Sector Export Academy. It will be created to upskill SMEs and prepare them to thrive when seeking foreign investment or export opportunities, and I'm sure we'll learn much more about that in the coming weeks. For a detailed review of this support plan, check out the full article on Giant-Leap.Space, or of course on Patreon, where it was released hours before anywhere else. A virtual roundtable is scheduled for the space industry to review these measures on the 1st of March. If that describes you, you can sign up for that session, linked in the comments below. Airbus Defence and Space, who own and operate large facilities in the United Kingdom, are enthusiastically researching into in-space manufacturing. Christoph Figus is the roadmap owner of in-space manufacturing and assembly at Airbus. He believes that his area is critical, saying, "Companies that master in-orbit manufacturing and assembly will win the future. Airbus reveals how their metallic 3D printing technologies are expected to morph into printing with lunar regolith in the future to provide new products such as radiation shields, habitats, and even more complex parts such as tooling for rovers. The company isn't just focused on surface operations though, they're also working on assembly in freefall to create so-called megastructures, or in the midterm very large structures, and they cite antennas as an example. It won't come as a surprise that a major part of their plans in this sphere focus on robotic construction. Robotics in space will be the subject of a future Giant Leap article, so stay tuned for that discussion on the future of human spaceflight, astronautics, and robotics. We promised you a sneak peek into our exclusive chat with the UK head of Rolls-Royce, one of the UK's best-known brands around the world, who recently publicised their research work on a future nuclear propulsion technology in partnership with the UK Space Agency. It's clear that the company feels best placed of all enterprises in the world to merge their experience with vehicle-borne nuclear technologies and aviation credentials, and that a focus on long-distance efficient spaceflight has gained a lot of momentum in their global business in a relatively short space of time. It seems clear that while some exciting engineering challenges remain, there's a lot of confidence that Rolls-Royce aim to become a relevant frontier driving force behind the UK and global space industries for many decades to come. I'm really excited to bring you a much more detailed article on this interview and its impacts very soon. Many of you will recall that last week we reported on a fake viral video pertaining to be from Perseverance rover on the surface of Mars. Well, this week we have benefited from a huge cache of incredible imagery from the Sky Crane and the rover itself through the final descent, landing, and first few hours on the surface of the red planet. Unfortunately, the microphone tasked to record the sounds of atmospheric entry didn't function properly, and we're left to wait for that particular soundbite from a future mission. However, another microphone did provide sounds of the rover functioning nominally on the surface and picked up the unmistakable sound of gusts of the thin, CO2-rich atmosphere on Mars moving about the stationary rover. For this week's Job of the Week, we're delighted to bring you a senior executive role with Skyrora, a space launch company based in Edinburgh. Skyrora are looking for a Chief Operational Officer, Business Development Executive, to be based at their headquarters in Scotland, but with responsibilities across the business, which has sites in the north of Scotland and in Europe at their engineering facilities. Head to skyrora.com/career for more information, or fire a CV and covering letter into careers@skyrora.com. To see our Job of the Week 24 hours before we publish here on the Roundup, subscribe to our Patreon page, where numerous perks of membership include this Space News Roundup a day in advance. For a limited time only, there's also a free merch giveaway for new members. Strongly encourage you to check that out. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn or your favourite social media platform by searching #GiantLeap. Thanks for checking in, and until next time, remember that every giant leap is set up by thousands of small steps. You have been listening to a Giant-Leap.Space News Roundup.